Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Is it afternoon? No, it's not even afternoon. I'm ahead of myself. Ladies, first let me tell you, thank you so much for the birthday shout outs on yesterday. They were just overwhelming my cup full of over. However, it's not about me today. It is about Dr. Shanetta HERBert. I have some things I want to play for you. This is going to talk so you can know who she is. She is a holistic doctor who has been ranked number 3 in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're going to be talking with her about a slew of things. We're going to be talking about women's health. We're going to talk about men's health. We're going to talk about autism. We're going to talk about gut and health restoration. We're going to talk about the pH balance, reviewing pH balances and things like that, and and what can throw off your pH balance. Even stuff that you eat, even things that you put in your body. Sometimes your pH balance can be thrown off by the baths that you take. But I'm not the expert. I'm going to let her talk about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning into the Positive Vibes Radio Show with Dr. Shanetta HERBert. Coming up next, guys, watch this video.
Your body may be dealing with due to the lack of
2 a.m. in the morning, 2 shots in, I'm slowing, feeling like you control it. Oh,
Are you someone who's dealing with exhaustion or fatigue? I will list a few things that your body may be dealing with due to the lack of or much of. But I will just name just a few. I won't name them all. But are you getting proper rest? Are you having too much alcohol? Do you have enough nutrition in your diet? Is it due to obesity? Do you have B vitamins, C vitamins in your diet? Are you lacking potassium, sodium, or magnesium? Do you have enough calcium? Is your thyroid functioning correctly? A lot of times, if your thyroid is not functioning correctly, that can have a huge impact on your fatigue level. And do you have a ton of work on your desk? Are you overloaded? So, if you can remember the scripture, and if you want to regain your energy back, remember the scripture, Job 33:4. It says, "The Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty gives me life." So if God can give you life, no one can take it away. Just remember that scripture, meditate on that scripture, and believe that scripture. And you can gain your energy. Your energy will be restored. All you have to do is believe.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage is herself, Dr. Shanetta HERBert. Dr. Shanetta HERBert, welcome to the Positive Vibes Radio Show.
Thank you for having me. I
You're
appreciate it.
so welcome. You're so welcome, young lady.
Mhm.
First, let's congratulate you on being ranked number 3 in Indianapolis for the wellness. That is a great
Mhm.
accomplishment. So
Yes.
kudos to you,
Thank
girl.
you.
And now let's talk about how you got into this whole atmosphere of holistic being. How did you get into that? What made you dive into that? It's not easy. We know that. What made you dive into being, this holistic doctor?
Okay, so actually, I kind of been holistic my entire life growing
Mhm.
up. But what really got to me is when I said, this is my calling, this is something that I need to do,
Mhm.
is when I had to go through a situation and a child was facing a eye infection.
Mm.
And the doctor wanted to have a procedure on the child's eye.
Mhm.
So both eyes were infected with bacteria. And so I was like, no, that we're not going to do that. We're not going to have surgery on that baby's eyes. What we are going to do is going to heal this baby eyes with natural herbs.
Mhm.
And so I took it upon myself to heal the child with natural herbs, but it took 12 months for
Wow.
it to clear up. So the child was not insecure or anything, but the child did wear sunglasses to school or sunglasses during summer breaks
Mhm.
when they would go to camp. But the child wasn't insecure, but the kids did want to know why you had on sunglasses. The teachers understood. But that moment when I saw that the eyes were clearing up, I knew that this was my path. That if God can give me the knowledge and the tools to help heal an individual and position them to heal, this is it. I'm
Well,
going full blown into this.
well, then my question would be, Dr. Herbert, is what caused the infection?
Actually, the child wasn't washing the face. Something as simple as buildup of dirt. Literally, it was just buildup of oil that would come from the hair, oil that come from the skin, and the child was literally taking a wash rag and washing around the face, just taking circle motions, and forgetting to realize that the eyes also need to be washed from all the sweat buildup. So that's what caused the eyelids to bump up in both eyelids.
Wow. So then let's talk. Now we're talking. We just dove into washing the face now, and I know this may sound nasty for some, but this is an issue where people use the same wash towel that they wash their body to wash their face.
Yes, that is common, but I don't think that's a good idea.
No.
And my thing is, the skin is so gentle. You don't really need rags. I know it's a trend that African Americans use rags and the Caucasian industry just use soap. That's really the way to go when you're using your hands and using your soap, because that way you're not really pulling on your skin. So when I did train the child on how to wash the face and the eyelids, it was all about the hands. All about the hands, but it was a lot of baking soda involved, a lot of golden seal involved, a lot of steaming involved, a lot of castor oil involved. So it was just a process of a lot of different regimens that I had in circular motion every 7 days.
Wow. So then let's talk about when we're talking about washing in the face, because I know some kids, because of their age, their moms use, of course, the rags to wash their face. Can we talk about independability when it comes to washing your face? At what age, would you suggest, when you're talking about using the things that you just mentioned to wash their face, at what age should they start these regimens?
To start washing their face on their own?
Yeah, I mean, some kids, they're washing their kids' faces at like 10 years old now, you know what I mean? Especially if they have disabilities. But, when they're as a normal child, at what age would you prefer?
I mean, because I'm for independence. My thing is, you can start the child at the age of 5, but stand over the child to make sure the child is doing it correctly. Because I believe in teaching the kids independency, because nowadays people, they don't do it right nowadays. So I say stand over child, make sure that they're doing it correctly. So that way, as they continue to grow, they know the root. They know where they come from and how to do it.
Now, you were talking about the castor oils and those things like that. Now, is this something that they're mixing up together, putting in a bowl and, allowing them to do it? Or
yes.
Okay.
So it was definitely, it was a paste. There were pastes being made every 7 days. The regimen changed every 7 days. So that way the infection would not get used to what was happening. And so we switch it up, and then the cells start to rejuvenate again and start to fight for what's right.
Awesome. So one of the questions that I have you, what are some of I know you do holistic, we do holistic thing. We want to dig into that as well, because a lot of people have switched over to, holistic living, holistic health, natural healing, things like that. And on top of that, because of the foods that have been tainted, and there's these foods that are being grown in factories and those type of things. What are some of the concerns with people that have relied on medicine for all of their life when they're trying to transition over to living more holistically? What are some of the concerns that people have?
The biggest concern that I have ran into is time. People want a quick turnaround when it comes to holistic care. It's not going to be that. You have to have patience, and you got to know the power of your body, and you got to know the power of food, and you got to know how to research the best quality of food, and once you get to the quality of food, you got to make sure that soil is what it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
on where the food is being grown or where the supplement is coming from. The soil is very important. But that's one of the things I really struggle with is time, because people do not want to wait to get healed. But I asked them, do you want to die or do you want to live? Do you want other side effects or do you want less side effects? Do you
Yeah.
want something else to occur, or you just want to just fight these two symptoms that you're dealing with, or you want to add 5 more to it? So it's questions that they have to answer in order to really take this, I would say, subtle route,
Mhm.
because the body doesn't need anything intense to heal itself. All you got to do is help it out. Keep it very simple. It doesn't have to be complex. You don't have to have chemotherapy. There's so many natural ways out there to treat it, but the thing is, you have to have the patience.
Right. Some people want that. They want, I mean, I think because of the internet, everything is like a microwavable. They want microwave fixes. They want microwavable
Hmm.
information. You know what I mean? They don't want to have to either dig for the information, do research on the information, or talk to people like yourself who has helped people
Hmm.
transition from medicine to holistic living
Yeah.
on a healthier note. And I believe
Hmm.
in that as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
To tell us about Shout. Tell us about Shout and how Shout was formed.
Shout stands for she has her own unique timing. Because I
Mhm.
must say, when it comes to women, we have our own timing in everything that we want to do. I don't care if we want to leave an abusive relationship.
Mhm.
If we are ready to start working out, I don't care how many people in front of us are working out or around us that's working out. If we ain't ready, we ain't gonna do it. Okay, so it's just like a woman has her own timing for everything when she's ready to settle down, when she's ready to be this powerhouse woman. A woman has her own time in everything. So when I created that, it was based around that because in my mind, I say, okay, so are you ready to holistically take the route to healing yourself? Are you
Mhm.
ready for that? Because if you are ready for that, I'm your girl. But if you're not, I'm not your girl. There are times I do hold hands through situations with clients for 8 weeks. And
Mhm.
after 8 weeks, my goal is you get you running, you on your own, you independent, and you are off taking and you sharing it with your loved ones so they can become independently healthy as well. So that's why I created Shout. Because
Nice.
are you ready to become independently healthy? Because you got to be the one to make the decision, not me.
And now when you're talking about Shout, right? Now let's talk about, how people live on generational hurts and diagnosis. Like, well, my grandmother's grandmother had, you know, heart problems, or my grandmother's aunt. It goes that far back where they say, well, they had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, um, heart disease, and bipolar. Is a whole bunch of things that has come from what people say back, from ancestral,
Yes.
not diagnosis. How does one, like right now? Right now, we're living in a phase of children. We're saying this the Gen Zers, and they know all about, or supposed to know all about what happened in their past, as far as like people having their
Mhm.
history, their family history. How does one at
Mhm.
this age, I guess 18, 19, maybe 15, 16, at this age say, okay, you know what? I understand that, my grandmother, my dad's dad, my dad's aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters and all those people behind us have had, diabetes and high cholesterol and heart failure and heart disease and stuff like that. How does one right now break that cycle? Where do they start?
They start with, so I believe they should start with changing of the diet because one thing I do know, people inherit recipes.
Mm-hmm.
So not every recipe is good for you. So if you can literally change the way that you eat, you can change the way that you live. And so when it comes to just eating the right foods, and right now it's so difficult to find clean food, you want to always shop locally with your local farmers, or if not, grow your own food. And do not purchase food, not want to say food, but do not purchase soil from mass grocery stores or mass supply chain stores. You want to get your soil from like a company that just only sell dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So, in these companies that only sell dirt in your city are dirt that comes directly from underground that you can put in place of the soil that's in your backyard for your garden. So that way you know that you're getting clean soil and not soil from the stores that's been tainted with who knows what.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say change the way that you eat. Hmm?
I said, or manufactured just in some way, right?
Yes, yes. Anything
So,
that's mass produced, I would stay away from it.
so then tell me this then, or tell the audience this then. How can one right now who owns a house, or they're living in their grandmother's house, wherever they live, how can one go outside and test the dirt in their backyard to see if it's good dirt or not?
Oh yeah, they definitely have test kits that you can purchase online. Amazon have everything. So you basically just go get a soil testing kit,
Mhm.
and then you can test it, and it has all the directions inside the kit on what you look for and what's not lacking and what's need to be added to your soil.
Okay. Now that we gotten that across, we gotten that taken care of. Now we want to talk about farming, and
Hmm.
not just farming, but growing your own garden and things like that. Now I remember visiting our family, which was which most of them are in Alabama. I remember them taking us to their garden, and my
Hmm.
uncle was like, "Y'all want watermelon?" And me, I love watermelon. I'm like, "Yeah, I love
Hmm.
watermelon." And he was like,
Yeah.
going back there and get you one." I'm like, "Back there?" And he's like, "Yeah, go back there." That was my first time, my experience. I think I was about 7, being experienced with seeing an actual garden. I mean, this garden went from acres and acres and acres. However, I say all
Hmm.
that to say, my cousin did get a watermelon. It was a small watermelon, and we ate it, and it
Hmm.
was delicious.
Hmm.
But on top of all that, what I just said, my family has grown to live at, between 90 and 100 plus years old. But they had their own garden. They did all the
Yeah.
gardening and all the food by themselves,
Hmm.
which is great.
Hmm.
So, and I know that a lot of people are doing gardening. They're starting their own gardens now. So,
Uh-huh.
what are your suggestions on someone that wants to start their own garden? I mean, today in North Carolina, it's going to be hot, so don't do it today. What would be your
Hmm.
suggestion in helping someone to start their own garden?
Okay, I would say for those that are living in an apartment who don't have the space, you can start as small as putting plants in your window sill, starting just with herbs. I mean, because herbs is like medicine. And
Mhm.
so you can do your research on what, if you're dealing with some type of situation, you research that on a herbal standpoint. So that can be the herb that you actually grow. And so that way you getting things that are actually beneficial for you and your family. Because you don't just want to grow things that you don't like to eat, or it's not something that your body needs at this time. So just if you talk to a practitioner and get some blood work done first so you can see what your minerals are deficient in. And those are the herbs that you start to grow in your window. That's just a starting point. But for those who have like the yard space to grow um, a garden, I would definitely test the soil, like we just talked about, with the soil testing kit. And if you are afraid to dig up the old dirt and replace it with new soil, you can always get buckets and start there. But
Mhm.
I will make sure that the buckets are wooden and untreated, because you don't want any type of chemical from the material that you're planting in to go into the food, into the soil, because
Okay.
your soil is what's most important. That's where all your nutrients are going to come from. So that's very important that you make sure what you're growing in doesn't have any chemicals on it, on the item.
Awesome. Now I know that I know there's some months where I know you do a lot with autism support for families.
Mhm.
Let's get into that just a little bit here on the show. Let's talk about autism and how the wide range of kids have been diagnosed with autism, and what are some of the natural. Well, let's talk about why a lot of children have been, diagnosed with autism, and what can we do? What do you do, or what do you know of, medically, or how can you help? You
I
know,
would say, here recently over the last 5 years, there has been a lot of babies being born with disabilities, of autism, and that's not normal. It's like been a pandemic
Mm-hmm.
of that happening over the last few years. And what I researched, and I hate to bring this up, but I'm gonna talk about it because I have to bring this up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
you're a doctor, you know. Go ahead.
I'm gonna just say it.
Mm-hmm.
Those, not saying all, but there are individuals who were vaccinated. And what the vaccine, what that did, when I say vaccinated, I'm talking about the COVID-19 shot.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they had that prior to having their child, it slows a lot of the oxygen down in the womb, and it makes it difficult for the child to receive the minerals that the child actually needs.
Mm-hmm.
So either the children are being born with autism or some type of disability, or they are losing their children. Those are the two big things that has been happening like a pandemic over the last few years, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Because we love the children. But my thing is the children does not have to remain in that state when it comes to autism,
Okay.
ADHD, bipolar, schizophrenic. I know they give this medication for children that have those diagnoses,
Mm-hmm.
but there are things out there naturally that can actually help your child. I'm not going to say reverse because I can't say that word,
Mm-hmm.
but there are some strong things out there that will take a gentle approach that can help your child become normal again. And even when they weren't normal, they will become normal. The thing is, you got to tap into the right source
Mm-hmm.
to make it happen. And it's a herb that makes that happen, not medication.
Thank you. And that would be you, right? Now
That
we know
would be, yeah,
and they can go to your website, and also they can set up an appointment to have a consultation and things like that.
yeah,
If their child is autistic, have been labeled autistic or ADHD and all those other things. Now,
yes.
they can do that by going to your website.
Yes, drherbertnp.com is where they can go to set up a consultation. If your child is dealing with autism, I am here to help you all the way. If you are willing to put in the work, I am willing to help you.
Now, let's talk about gut health and restoration. There's a lot of people that I have come in contact with, and I get a lot of people calling, and just talking about a lot of different things. And a lot of people are suffering from gut health. Now, the gut health issue that's happening now, is it because of, and I guess we could say this, there's a lot of fast food and other things that are fast that people are eating, and people are not eating healthy, along with not growing their own foods. Is that where a lot of the problems comes from?
A lot of problems of gut health is coming from that, what you just mentioned as well, along with inflammation that's being accumulated in the body, along with stress that's being accumulated in the body. And everybody knows that stress is very dangerous. And
Mhm.
so that can trigger a lot of different things within the body just by stress alone, whether if it's coming from your home or work or the children too. Children can stress you out too, but you got to know how to balance those things. Um, but far as I'm concerned, gut health can come from so many different areas of the body that a person can be dealing with. It's just a matter of getting tested. I don't do anything invasive, so I do a lot of urine. I do urine tests, saliva tests. I look at the tongue. I specialize in iridology, and so iridology can definitely give me a intel deep consult regarding on how the gut is functioning. It
Mhm.
lets me know exactly how the organs are they strong, are they weak, and so because your eye endings, your eye nerves in each eye it have so many nerve endings in each eye. So I'm able to see all those things that's going on inside the gut, all
Wow,
your organs, even your emotions. So
that's
I
amazing.
can determine that. And once I realize the things that I see in your eyes, on your tongue, or on your nails, I can now begin to nourish those organs that are now weak. And
So
so
we're talking
once they are,
holistically.
hmm?
You say we're talking holistically, right?
Yes, holistic, only with herbs and lifestyle changes. That's the only way that I can help nourish your organs, because you have to realize your body is already in position to heal, but you
Mhm.
have to help it. So if I can see it in your eyes when I look into your eyes with my assessment tool, we can get you where you need to be.
Amen. Now, being that you're in Indianapolis, that's where your practice is in Indianapolis. How does one, if they are in another state, get to you? How do you make that happen?
So I do virtual appointments, and if we have to do an iridology test, I will show you exactly how to take the picture of each eye, so I can get a full um, look at each eye to see how things are functioning. We also do phone appointments. I also travel to clients, but it has to make sense for the both of us.
Mhm.
And then I have the option, people can come to my office space to come visit me.
Awesome. Now, now is your some of your things, are they covered by any insurances?
No insurance. The government, they not covering me. They don't want us to do the insurance, but we do health savings account, debit, credit, um, and precious metals.
Now, I do know, like you
Cash
said,
too.
SHA accounts. There's a lot of companies now that are going the holistic route, the wellness, route. So
Mhm.
SHAs would definitely help.
Yes, health savings accounts. Yep, I accept that. Yes.
Now let's
And
get
then
into. Okay,
I
I'm
do
sorry.
want to say one last thing regarding on how to get in touch. I do want to say, like, if we do have a virtual appointment, supplements will be mailed to your property. So if you need herbs and everything will be mailed to you as well.
Gotcha. Now let's talk about. I'm a water drinker, and I know throughout the years there has been this alkaline water thing. You know what I mean? The pH balances in water. Let's
Hmm.
talk about the pH balance. What's the correct pH balance in water that people should be looking for, and how, if they bought it out of the store, how can they do it at home?
Okay, let me say this about alkaline. I'm a
Okay.
food based. So when it comes to healing of the body, it's all about the food. So it doesn't have to be alkaline water in a bottle. Okay. What you can do to alkaline your body is you take a key lime, the small key limes that you get from like an international market,
Mhm.
and you just squeeze that, a little bit of that in your water, and you drink it. And that can alkaline your body just by doing that. You can also alkaline your body by putting aluminum free baking soda in your water, just a tiny bit, just a little bit. You can also alkaline your body by adding salt to your water. And so when I say salt, a pebble of salt, I'm talking about salt that's been third party tested. That way, there are no heavy metals in your salt.
Mhm.
Because my thing is, you want to always source your products. And that is how food is what you want to do to heal your body, not synthetic alkaline water.
Now let's talk about salt, because I know when people that have high blood pressure, you say salt, they kind of cringe. What specific, can you tell me what type of salts are we talking about? I know there's Himalayan salt. There's a slew of different salts. What type of
We
salts?
definitely ain't doing Himalayan. There's way too many Himalayan pink Himalayan salt on the market. It's in mass production. You don't want it. Always remember that mass production. We don't want it. So when I talk about salt, there's one. What is the name of it? Jacobson salt, and we got Baja salt. Those two are pretty decent, but there are some other salts out there that are third party tested that don't have any heavy metals. But one thing about salt, we are the salt of the earth.
Mhm.
Our bodies are the salt of the earth, and God said have salt with every meal. It says it in the Bible. But the thing is, it have to be the right type of salt. Not only salt hydrates your body, when you actually get into an ambulance, they give you an IV without even knowing your medical history, whether you got high blood pressure, low blood pressure, but they're going to give you that IV. And guess what's in that IV? 9,000 milligrams of salt. And guess what that IV going to do? It's
Wow.
going to hydrate you, and it's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you feel good. They don't care about your medical history. The thing is, they promote salt is bad for you. You've got high blood pressure. Yes, that is true if you have the wrong type of salt. But the thing is, they ain't gonna tell you the truth about how we are the salt of the earth and we supposed to have salt with every meal. but it has to be the right type of salt, and that is salt that is aluminum free, heavy metal free, I'm sorry, and third party tested.
Wow. So you said that when you get an ambulance, they give you IV, that's like did you say 9,000 milligrams of sodium?
9,000 milligrams of salt in that IV bag. Now, mind you, how many bags you may go through with the IV? Maybe two IV bags. 9 times 2 is what? 18. That's a lot. 18.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Especially when the body, the daily limit for sodium today is 2,000 milligrams.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot. Wow. That's news to me. Wow. Now let's talk about the pH reviews and balancing. Because sometimes I don't think, people take baths and, sometimes they put those bath salts and Epsom salts and things like that in their water. But I'm talking about as far as a female is concerned. It can knock off the pH balances as well. Let's talk about females and the pH balances of females.
So when it comes to balancing your pH, a lot of women, when you talk about baths, let me talk about baths first. Mm-hmm. So when we took baths back in the day, baths healed us from all kind of things. Whether we took an oatmeal bath, we took a alcohol bath, they rub you down in alcohol in the bathtub. There were so many different things that the water healed us from. There's healing in the water. People need to understand there's healing in the water. Amen. But they are promoting all these shower commercials, like get your tub out, make it easy for you to access your baths, your showers. I mean, no, keep your bathtub. Do not get it replaced with a shower. Everybody need a tub in their home. Everyone. Not only that, it can boost your white blood cells that can reverse all kind of diseases. But you got to know how to do it though. Mm-hmm. So to boost your white blood cells, literally all you need to do is go to cold to hot, from cold to hot, but you got to know how to do it though, because it can be dangerous, but you got to know how to get in that cold water. You got to know how long to stay in that cold water. You got to know how long you need to be in the steam or in the hot water. You got to know how to do that. So do not get rid of y'all tubs, whatever y'all do. Don't pay attention to those commercials. Okay, but regarding the pH levels, there's more to it than dropping something into the bath water to balance your pH levels. That's something that I do. I do pH testing to see where your body is, whether if it's an alkaline or whether if it's acidic. And so what I do is I examine that. And once I examine that and get the results back, it tells me exactly the mineral deficiencies. Mm-hmm. Because if you just putting something in your water, you're not even getting to the root cause of what's causing your pH to be off. And so everything starts with a mineral deficiency. Over 95% of diseases start with a mineral deficiency. So, and that's pretty much what my pH testing tells me, your mineral deficiency. And then it tells me exactly how to get you there. So that way your pH is in a neutral state. It's the minerals, that's awesome. not something in your bath water.
So, and then you also do root cause assessment. Is that what you're talking about? The root cause assessments, how you can tell the mineral deficiencies, the pH balances, and also looking at the eyes and telling what's going on with the body, looking at the tongue, telling what's going on with the body. That all included in the root causes assessment?
Absolutely. All that is included in the root cause assessment, and it's not invasive.
Okay. Nice. So how do we, I don't want to keep you long. I know you have an extended day today. I know, there are a lot of people that are watching online today, and I want to thank you so much for tuning into the Positive Vibes Radio Show with our Dr. Shanetta HERBert, and congratulate her with ranking number 3. That's top notch there anyway. You're not like number 3, you're in the top 5, girl. So that's awesome.
Yes, thank you.
So your appointments, I know it's the summertime, your appointments, what are your good scheduling times for appointments? If one is watching here and they say, hey, I want to call you today, or I want to call you tomorrow, I want to get it scheduled before my kids go back to school. And sometimes when you're doing that, is it also a good practice to bring the kids with them if they schedule appointments, or for the kids to be around?
Oh yeah, they can bring their children. It's fine. It's family friendly. Okay.
Okay.
They can bring whoever they want to
Okay.
their
And how
appointment.
can one get in contact with you if they want to be they want to contact you via email to set up this? How's it best to go to your website, set up an appointment, find out what they need, and then contact you? How is it best for you?
Yes, they can go to drherbertnp.com and to set up a consultation. And also when you go to the website, there's also an email on there which is drherbert at gmail. No. It's drherbertnp@gmail.com. So you can email me there if you want to communicate with me. It's not easy. I'm sorry. It is easy to get in contact with me. And so I do respond within 24 hours, less than 24 hours. So you definitely hear back from me. And if
you're
you
on
want to
Facebook.
call, yes, I'm on Facebook. Healing with Dr. Herbert is the Facebook page. Or if you want to go to my personal page, it's Shanetta Herbert. But yeah, Healing with Dr. Herbert is the name of the business.
I'm pulling it up now. So here you go. There you go. Gotcha. So now it's 4th of July time. Everybody's about to feast over those hot dogs and hamburgers and all that great stuff, right?
Yeah, they are.
On a positive way, because I always like to utilize the people that come on here and also, I want them. So let's talk about some better things or healthier things to eat on this 4th of July. I'm all about health and wellness and physical activities. Let's talk about some healthier things to eat on the grill for this 4th of July, and also some physical things that people can do. It's hot, but what can we do?
On the grill, you can put some wild yams. And so anything that's wild, you can do. You can even put fruit on the grill, okay, and put a little. And if you do some bison, you can put bison on the grill, some zeal on the grill, because those animals, that meat is wild caught. It is grass fed, and those are some of the things you want to do when it comes to the meat is concerned. That's the type of meat you want to replace your hot dogs with, versus because bison and zeal is pretty healthy. Your body needs it, especially if you have hormone problems. If you have hormone problems, your body needs to eat hormones, but make sure that the meat is grass fed.
Now, one last thing, Dr. Herbert, it just came to mind. Let's talk about, we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they say you eat a 4-course meal and you should eat like 3 meals a day. Let's talk about that. How beneficial is it for one to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And from your perspective, what is the best meal that one should eat? Because I hear people say, I don't eat breakfast. I hear people say, I don't eat lunch. And people say, I don't eat dinner. They eat once a day. What is it? How does it work coming from your perspective?
Well, everybody's body is so different when it comes to a fasting state.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to use the phrase time to eat versus fasting.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I use the phrase time to eat, or you eat, but if you use the word fasting, you're like, okay, I'm supposed to be fasting this time, but yet I'm craving this. And so you start craving certain things. So eating 3 meals a day, even if you eat 3 meals a day, make sure you don't eat snacks in between.
Okay.
Okay. Because if you eat snacks in between, that will increase your insulin, and it doesn't give your food time to digest.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure your food has time to digest before your next meal, and make sure you eat in small portions and not large portions, because your body needs to break all that down. So if you do 3 meals a day, don't eat snacks in between.
So it doesn't sound like
your insulin low.
No. So it doesn't sound like you're a fan of buffets.
No, I'm not a fan of buffets, because that's overeating. You know what I mean? Because it's all you can eat. They do that for a reason, okay? And they ain't gonna trick me into eating all I can eat. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. I have to be an example of what I'm speaking about. Okay.
Amen.
So I live how I teach my clientele. I am an example. I have a garden. If I'm preaching people to how to get a garden, I need to have one myself. So I definitely have one. And I truly believe that people should not overeat. our bodies weren't created to do that.
Yeah.
So just be very mindful of how much you eat, what you eat. Very mindful.
Sounds good. Well, Dr. Shanetta HERBert, I hope that this day is already blessing us. But thank you so much for coming
Mhm,
on to Positive Vibes Radio Show,
mhm,
video show right now. But I'm going to make
mhm,
sure that this information is going to be dispersed to everybody I know on my page, your page, and if anybody has
mhm.
any questions for Dr. Shanetta HERBert, please be mindful of her time. And also, if you want to go visit her or have her give you some life savings, not life saving, but life servicing support, hit her up, guys. Thank you so much, Dr.
Yes.
HERBert.
Thank you so much for having me, Tracy.
And how about what can we tell the kids to eat and enjoy? Because kids will eat anything, but let's talk about that real quick.
I would say, okay, since it's summertime, I would say anything homemade. Stop taking your kids to these fast food restaurants. And so if you want to do ice cream, mom, dad, auntie, grandma, go to the store. Get the kids some ice cream, get some fruit, and make a smoothie yourself. Put some ice in there, the frozen fruit in there, and you can make it yourself. If they just have to have ice cream. Very simple process.
Mhm.
Slushies. When it comes to kids, I mean, you can make the food fun. Do shish kebabs on the stick, but make sure it's homemade and wild caught and wild berries and wild fruit, because the number one thing for me is wild herbs or wild fruit,
Mhm.
wild meat. And then a second option is certified organic. Okay. So a lot of people ignore the wild caught food and go straight to the certified organic. And shop with your local farmers for these kids. Get them some watermelon, but make sure it's seeded. Don't go in there and get no seedless watermelon for them babies.
Okay, so I'm glad we're on this, but let's talk about so that goes into the seedless watermelon, seedless grapes. Let's talk about the difference of what makes them unhealthy, because people talk. I get that all the time, especially when I'm like hunting for a watermelon with seeds in Walmart, Food Line, wherever I go, and if somebody's like, "There got watermelon with seeds right over there, and they're cheaper." Let's talk about the differences of their worth.
Yeah, so anything seedless, when you think of anything seedless, did God grow it from the beginning? Let's go back to the beginning on how things were when we were growing up. Everything had seeds in it. And in order for it to grow, it has to have a seed. In order for it to grow, it must have a seed. And if it don't have a seed, where do you think it come from? That's all I'm saying. Put on your thinking cap. But yes, it must have a seed in order to grow. Always remember that. So anything else you can, I would say that you can eat for the summer besides watermelon fruit and wild caught wild meat like zell and bison or grass-fed beef. Lamb is really good. But just make sure that your kids have everything with seeds in it and nothing seedless. So if you are afraid that your child may choke on the seed, just make sure you take care of the fruit and everything prior to your children getting it, so that way you taking all the seeds out, so that way they can have a healthy swallow, because you don't want the kids to be out there choking on anything. So yes. Did I lose her? Did I lose you, Tracy? Tracy, are you there? Okay, looks like I'm waiting for Tracy to get back online. But I just want to say, if for those who just jumping in, if you are looking for a holistic approach, if you're tired of not being heard, If you are going to the doctor's office and you feel like you are being rushed in what you are trying to explain to your doctor, you can definitely reach out to me at drherbertmp.com. That's N as in Nancy, P as in Peter.com. And I will listen and we can get to the root cause of what's causing your situation to happen and go from there. And I truly, truly believe in the body healing itself. And if you believe, I believe. Okay. And we can get this together and make a world of a difference. We can remove inflammation from the body and go from there. Depending on what you're dealing with, I don't care if it's you just dealing with depression, I can help that. If you're dealing with ADHD, I can help that with the help of God. I can't do it by myself and I can't do it without you. Okay, I'm 20% and you are the 80%. So as long as you can do the 80%, you're on your way to recovery. Again, for those that are just jumping in, feel free to connect with me at drherbertnp.com. You can email me. My email's on the website. You can fill out the contact form. You can, I think my number's on there as well. You can reach out to me that way. But yeah, and the name of my business is called Healing with Dr. HERBert. I'm not sure where Tracy went, but thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to helping you heal.
Hey guys, sorry about that. I don't know exactly what happened to the feed. However, Dr. Shanetta, she looked like she closed off the show with a little bit more information, guys. Something happened to my computer and it also happened to the feed. However, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into the Positive Vibes radio show with your girl Trey Lou. Had to jump onto one of my other computers to end the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. Thank you so much for tuning into the Positive Vibes radio show. Hit Dr. Herbert up and get more information as to how she can help you live a holistic life. This is your girl, Trey Lou. Happy 4th. And again, thanks for all those who have wished me a happy birthday and sent their love. Thank you so much, guys. I love you so much, guys. Take care. Have a happy 4th and eat healthy. God bless you guys. Have a good night.